Apito was anskoya omania. Nehi oskoya gomistigo suino skoya. Alberta Laclabe Shagwa Papasteo Chiniamaga Vancouver Mewatsnioegan. And I just said that for the benefit of Gail Maurice. How did you, Gail? Not too bad, okay. I'm still learning Perea. It's a lifelong process. And I usually get asked to go and lecture at different conferences, so I have to say this was actually a real honor to be at the colloquium that's been happening for the first few days here and not have to lecture and just be able to listen. And I just wanted to tease all the lecturers who were there. The thing I heard about experts is that it's defined as where X is an undefined quantity and a spurt is a drip under pressure. So I was glad I didn't have to be a drip under pressure. So when I introduced myself, I told you I was a half-breed. Apitokosan square. And there's other ways of saying it, and one of the other ways of saying it is what you'd say about mixed blood people, or what is in English known as Métis, or is French known as Métis, is Gatapemsotsek. And it means like they own themselves or they are their own bosses. And so I'm going to share a couple songs with you that sort of illustrate that, because I know that there's a lot of people here who are really taking note of different song forms, and I just want to let you all know that there's no other women that sing these song forms that I'm going to sing or play the drum to them. But that's part of being, someone who owns themselves in some way. And it also just comes from the fact that I think as a mixed blood woman, I went and lived in the bush for 4 years up in northwest Saskatchewan, Meadow Lake Tribal Council, and I was a storyteller in residence. So my job was to go and visit old people every day, just to go and sit at their kitchen tables and go to their ceremonies. And I think over time they realized that, I was a nice girl and that, I kept a pretty good rhythm and had a pretty good voice, And I think that's the other thing too, is for anybody here, to learn a language is another language. The best way is through singing. So Gail, that's how it's working for me. So I'm not so good in the conversation, but if we could sing, we could have a conversation back and forth singing. And also, I talk a lot. I come from a family that knows how to make a short story really long. So one thing I just want to say too is that coming back to Toronto and being able to do this has been a real honor. I don't know who's here tonight, and if there's any women from Anishinaabe singers, is there anyone here? Is there? Yeah? Is that Rose? You guys give Rose Stella a hand. Rose, stand up. Come on, stand up. Okay. So that's Rose Stella. And there was a group here in Toronto for many years called Anishinaabe Singers, and I got to sing with them when I used to live here. And there's an old man, Art Napoleon, a lovely old man who's now long passed on. But he basically gave Anishinaabe singers, as far as I know, and the women in P4W, he told us we should sing at the drum because he said we come from other places and we've left our homes and we've come into a big city, and it's really important to remember who we are. And so I just want to acknowledge you, Rose, because those were good years singing here in Toronto. So this is a song that would have been sung early in the morning, and it wouldn't have been sung this way, because the way I'm going to play it, you play it late at night. So I don't mean to mess you up, but this is a wake-up song, the night version. Oh, and also, it's also, see, the thing, I just told you a little story about it, and I'll tell you a little more of a story about it, is that they used to go around the camps, pre-contact, they used to go around the camps and wake people up in the morning. There'd be somebody, like a chronicler, I don't know how to say that in Cree, Gail, maybe you know. But somebody who was basically, they would go around at the camp in the morning and they would wake people up. And they used to say this, they'd walk around the camp going, Wanska, biwa panama, ase si sak nigamok, biiminak wankataskino. And they would go from lodge to lodge to wake people up. And the words translate to say, wake up, the light is here, the birds are already singing, and come and witness our land because it looks good. It's a dance song too, so there you got the story. I'm going to give you the song, and there's a dance. So anyone who feels like a little bit in, please.
So there's a few people kind of doing that, so that was good. I think that we might have some dancing yet. So one of the things that many of the people, and I apologize to anyone here who wasn't at this afternoon's colloquium, but Greg Younging was speaking very beautifully and eloquently, and I just wanted to echo and reverberate one of the things he said, which I think has a lot to do with the form, and one of the things he was mentioning was that as Indian people, we go out into the environment and we express ourselves into the environment, and it resonates back to us. And I was happy he was saying that, because that's very much something what being Nehioak is about. One of the descriptions I heard about what it means to be Cree, or in the language you say Nehioak, is that it's about four directions. Neo being sort of a root in that. And so you really get this sense that, you go out into your environment, and I think maybe it's why we're pretty nomadic too, eh? We just wandered all over and felt like wherever we were, it was Nehianak, the place where the Nehios were. So I think that was a really important thing, and in a lot of the song forms you'll hear that it's always like 4 push-ups done, right? So it's sort of more about that sense of groundedness, and I always like to describe it like a table, with 4 legs, really, really grounded. So I'm going to sing a song now, which is a new song. That's a really old song. I learned it through the family, the Naitauhau. So I just want to say their names. If anyone's ever doing work in Saskatchewan and you want to meet up with some amazing people, it's the Naitauhaus. Naitowhow, just in case anyone's writing anything down. So they're really an amazing family, and I learned that song from the Naitauhaus. But this song is a new song, so basically what I've done now is taken the song form, and I'm writing some new material for my band McGirl. And this song is Brian McLeod here? Did he come tonight? Okay, he's not here. Oh, good, that's even better. I can say lots of stuff that he wouldn't agree with. It's great. Don't tell him, okay? One of the things that I've been doing is, as I meet people, because I look so fair, my experience has been that I always have mixed blood people coming up to me and disclosing to me and talking to me about, their heritage. And at one point I had heard that Woody Guthrie was a half-breed, or was a mixed blood. And a couple of years ago I had the opportunity to share the stage at the Ottawa Folk Festival with basically warm up the stage for his son Arlo. And talked to Arlo backstage, and, just very, said, I hear that you guys are mixed. And he said, well, he goes, we can't really say that because there's legislation in the United States that prohibits us, and and I said, yeah, I know all about that legislation, and we understand what that's about. But I said, but I know that. I said, and there's more than just people like me who've heard that, So we had a nice conversation about it, and it was real sweet. Later that night, he got on stage and he sang, the Oklahoma Hills song that his daddy wrote about the Indian reservation and stuff like that. And he kind of looked over at me, and of course I was weeping and crying and just really touched and moved. And a couple years ago, I was at the Banff Centre. I spent a lot of time there doing residencies. See, I do make a short story really long, don't I? Okay. So I was at a residence at the Banff Centre, and there was this woman. She was a Jewish woman, and she had lost her whole family in the Holocaust. And so she really wanted to make a video piece that was a commentary on on people doing things together. And she came and she asked myself and my friend Joseph Naitauhau, who I mentioned to you, if we would be willing to sing a song, and she wanted to video it. And she was trying to get everyone who was, everyone she could get at the Banff Centre to sing the same song. And she wanted to pick a song everyone knew. So she said, will you sing This Land? Woody Guthrie song This Land. And so, I love to sing. And I said, yeah, I'd love to sing it. I said, but I'll change the melody, because I'm really into the Pichichuan form, which is the round dance. And my friend Joseph Naitauhau said, well, I'd like to sing it, but I'll sing it in Cree, because, he's a beautiful, fluent Cree speaker. So we watched each other's video afterwards, and I said, wow, I think we have a new song, because my melody is different than the original, very vastly, and his words are completely different. And one of the things I just wanted to share with you is that, as Sadie Buck said earlier, that Indian people have always been generous and kind, and sometimes it's a problem, And the one thing I can tell you about Cree, and Gail will attest to this, is that you can speak in Cree, you can speak exclusively. You can speak about yourself, or I can speak about me and Gail, or we can also speak inclusively. There's an inclusive term that includes everybody. So this song is for everybody, and we wrote it very specifically and thematically for everybody.
And the words translate roughly, because really it would be like an hour to tell you really what the philosophy is behind all the words. And I do come from that kind of a family. Anyways, so the words translate roughly to say our land, the land that I'm referring to right here, from where the sun rises to where the sun sets, from the north place also to the south place. This is our mother, this is our land. And it's based on this land from Woody Guthrie, so I just want to acknowledge that. And I really wish somebody would dance. I mean, you know, there's a bit of space. You can even just kind of go back and forth in a row or something. Come on, it's a good dance. Okay, I'm going to show you. Hold on. So it's a nice dance. And, you know, if there's anyone wanting to get hooked up, it's kind of a flirting hookup kind of dance as well. It is spring after all, come on. So, the rhythm's like that. And you kind of just move. Well, and we could go this way. Since we can't go in a circle, we could kind of just go back and forth on the aisles. That would work. And you hold hands, you know, and it's kind of nice. And, you know, there might be someone you really wanted to hold hands with, but you're too shy, so here's your opportunity. And that's how you keep the nation strong, you know that. That's a vocal warm-up, Indian vocal warm-up.